I want to talk about something that you did mention when you were talking about the Chinese traffic light app not being able to exist here. And one of the reasons, of course, being GDPR and the privacy laws. Do we need to rebalance here? I have to be honest with you. I had a conversation with somebody who is a privacy law expert, and she recognizes that this is an emergency and that the rules change in an emergency. And so privacy becomes less important than solving the crisis in front of you. At the same time, once you breach privacy, it's hard to get it back. And, you know, in the UK, they've asked for 1.5 million people to identify the most vulnerable, and they've all been sent a letter, and they've been given special treatment by the government. And now they've sort of been identified to a population that they hadn't anticipated, you know, from the delivery driver to the neighbor across the street that is giving that delivery. You know, these people, when, you know, this was not anticipated, despite the best of intentions from those that decided to take this action. So what's the way forward? How do we maintain this spirit of collaboration without completely destroying the very important privacy situation that we have built up over quite some time?
Yeah, well, this is the one big dilemma, I must say. As part of the High-Level Expert Group, I wrote a few articles around the China versus Europe model, because AI assistants, they take the values, you want them to take the values that is in that society. And in my analysis, I saw that in China, AI can, for example, scale widely because the culture is not, it's not about the individual, it's about the common population. That's how they make decisions. So what is right, even if it is bad for me, because it's good for the majority, that's why minorities have problems in China. So, and that's also why AI could be scalable, because you get those data sources, you say, okay, we're going to build a model, we're going to make it face recognition everywhere, we're going to do social scoring everywhere. So it is a different culture. If we look to Europe, it's different. It's with the Second World War, with all our history, we become very clear around personal freedom, about privacy, and every one of us here in Europe take it as granted is I am free. That's why social distancing was very hard to implement, because, you know, this is your own right. You can decide. No, you know, not government telling me to where to go. So that's, I think, a big difference in culture. And it reflects in measures, policy measures, it reflects in technology. So to get back to your question, yeah, this app that scores people and it's used and it helped in the social distancing situation. Why is that a problem here? There is a big clash with our values. It won't be possible. And as you said, we will have situations like that. It will be used for purposes that are harmful. But we should realize we are in crisis. And in crisis, you need to take decisions fast. What is important, we need to define clearly what do we want to manage in this crisis. From a health perspective, we want to reduce the number of cases. We want to reduce the number of deaths. That's what is important in this situation. So doing all the measures that it takes, of course, minimizing the risk of all the other things that could happen. I would maybe introducing penalties of any sort if that data got breached or used for other purposes than that. I think that it is very crucial. But having clearly what do we want, and then using the technologies, the policies that we have to minimize the number of cases and to minimize the number of deaths, I think that is the way to go in this crisis, because you you also don't want this period to stay very long, because the economy needs to start turning again, and this is harmful for everyone. So yeah, I'm not sure if I answered your questions, but I think it is a dilemma.
There is no perfect answer, but it's really important to understand the different perspectives so that we can determine that right answer in the near future, even if we cannot do it today. So I think you answered very well. Thank you.